Hello everyone, welcome back. Let's go ahead and continue.
Have to prove Sarvagyam Sarvakaranam, the cause, the creator of the entire universe. Not only that, omniscient, Brahman is omniscient. I clearly am not. I didn't create the universe. Don't ask me. I am not responsible. Who created the universe? Not me. And yet Vedanta insists you are the cause of this entire universe, you are omniscient, and so on and so forth. How do you prove that? And the author is equal to the task. In the next verse, he is going to prove that. You are the source of the entire universe, and you are the cause of this entire universe, and you are omniscient also to boot. And he'll do that. Let's see. I'm going to present a series of tightly interlocked arguments now. First the second verse, and then. Maye vodeti chid vyomni jagad gandharva pattanam Atoham katham na brahma Atoham katham na brahma Sarvagyam sarvakaranam. In me, the sky of consciousness, Chid Vyoma, Chid Akasha. Akasha means sky, Vyoma means sky. In me, the sky of consciousness, the universe arises like castles in the sky. And the literal translation is like the city of the Gandharvas, which is what in English we have a phrase, castles in the sky. You know, you imagine things in the clouds, cities, people, whatever. When you go in the plains, it's like some persons are talking or something. Fantastic shapes in the clouds. So castles in the clouds, castles in the sky. The universe arises in me. In me, which me? Not this person. What we just discussed now, I am, constant I, the shining, constant I, who is never an object of displeasure or of lack of love for myself. So this existence consciousness bliss, in that the universe arises as a mirage, as a dream, as like a movie on a screen, like castles in the sky, a city of Gandharvas in the sky. Therefore, he is combative here. Ato ham katham na brahma. So how am I not Brahman? You are the cause of this universe and you are omniscient. So let's just look into this quickly and I'll stop. A set of arguments. Follow carefully. The first, we start where we left off. I am is constant in all our experiences. In all our experiences, I am is constant. But what we experience continually changes. The people in our lives come and go. The places we go to, different places we see. Time changes all the time, from childhood to middle age to old age. Time is flowing. Body is changing. Mind is continuously changing. Thoughts are changing. Ideas are changing. Memories are arising and disappearing and being forgotten also. All of this is changing. And I am the constant. I amness, always shining, not changing in all experiences. Now, if things, here is the argument, things which come into existence and disappear, we say technically they don't have intrinsic existence, they have borrowed existence. What's the argument here? This is being borrowed from the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, profound verse, 16th verse. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. The unreal never has any existence, the real never goes out of existence. What does that mean? Consider this example. Hot potato, not metaphorically, a real hot potato. So the potato by itself, intrinsically, it's not hot. It's only when you have boiled it, it's hot. So it's borrowed its heat from the boiling water. What's the proof of that? Because it was not hot, it's hot now, and the heat will disappear. Once you serve it and put it on the plate, on the table, after some time it will cool down. It's no longer a hot potato. So the heat is lost. If the heat comes and goes, it shows that it's not intrinsic to that object. It's not a property of that object. It was borrowed from something else. And we say, obviously, yes, the boiling water. But the boiling water doesn't have heat of its own. It's borrowed it from the hot saucepan under it. The hot saucepan also is not hot all the time. It's only when, the electric heater or the fire which is burning underneath. That the saucepan borrows the heat from there and lends some of it to the water, and the water lends some of it to the potato, and our job is done. We have cooked the potato or boiled it. But the fire is interesting. The fire has not borrowed heat from anywhere else. The fire is intrinsically hot. As long as the fire is there and burning, it's going to be hot. Sort of common sense example. So it's intrinsically hot. The fire does not gain heat or lose heat. As long as it's there, it's hot. Every object that borrows heat from the fire gains the heat and loses it. And the characteristic of borrowing something is that you gain it and lose it. It should be obvious. We are in Manhattan, a debt society. Debt fueled by debt. People borrow all the time. There's a phrase, maxed out your cards. Maxed out your cards. That means you went on a shopping spree and you bought well beyond your means. And that's encouraged. That's what keeps the economy going. But then people can come and repossess your homes, your cars. And well, what happened? And the creditors came and took it away. You gained it, and you had very high-flying Manhattan lifestyle, and then suddenly you lost it again. What happened? You didn't actually own it. It wasn't yours. It was on borrowed, credit, on borrowed money. But if you are, this is a nice example. I was walking in the park, and there was this guide showing people around. And near the lake, he showed people. So he was talking to tourists. This is called the West Side, Upper West. And this is called New Money. And this is people, there's celebrities and tech people and all very rich people and famous people. And this he gives rattles of a list of people living in San Remo and what is that, El Dorado Towers and so on. And on the other side is East Side. That's called Old Money. So they have had it for generations. And then he said, where I come from, I'm from the Bronx. That's no money. So the sign of old money is that it doesn't come and go so easily. It belongs to you for a long time. So similarly, a characteristic which is intrinsically yours will not come and go. Now, so heat coming and going. Fire has intrinsic heat. The potato or the water or the saucepan does not have intrinsic heat. It came and went. But fire's heat does not come and go. Now, here's the philosophical question. If something has existence itself as an intrinsic property, then what will happen to it? If something has borrowed existence, what will happen to it? If you borrow something, what happens? It comes and goes. If you borrow existence, it will come and go. And borrowed existence, coming and going, another way of saying it is birth and death, creation and destruction. If something comes into being and goes out of being, born and died, created and destroyed, came into existence and disappeared from existence. It borrowed existence. But if something does not have borrowed existence, what will happen to it? It will be exist. Yeah, it will always be there. It will be still. Great, that's a good way of putting it. It will be always there. It will never come into existence. It will never go out of existence because it's old money, old existence. Existence belongs to it. Now, apply to that I am. I am seeing flowers, hearing sound, meeting people. I'm young, and then I was young. Now I am old. All of these flowers and sounds and people and places and jobs and young and old, all of them came and went. That means they don't have intrinsic existence. But I am, I shine, Sat Chit Ananda, that real nature, never comes and goes. It's always there. So I am has intrinsic existence. And whatever this I am experiences in life, none of it has intrinsic existence. It comes and goes. Therefore, it must have borrowed existence. Where will something borrow existence from? Where will the potato borrow its heat from? You say, oh, from the boiling water. Not really. They have all borrowed their heat from fire. They may lend to each other, but they have borrowed it from fire. All this universe, what the author is driving at is, all this universe of experience, whatever you experience in this life, everything has borrowed existence from you, the I am. Not you, the body. Even the body has borrowed its experience from you, the I am. Not even you, the person. And that person comes and goes. In deep sleep, the person disappears. But the I am continues. The isness awareness continues. Just a little footnote, when I keep talking about existence as intrinsic property, those who are philosophically trained, if you're not philosophically trained, you are safe. But if you're philosophically trained, then you will immediately notice that existence cannot be a property. Bertrand Russell's theory of descriptions proves that very clearly. And what he pointed out was, when you say something has a property, the table is brown, what it means is there exists an entity called a table which has the property of being brown. Therefore, you cannot say existence is a property. Otherwise, how would you express it? There exists an entity called a table which has the property of existence. That sounds strange. It sounds even more strange when you say something does not have the property of existence, something died or is destroyed. Then how would you say? The table is destroyed, how would you say? You would say, and Bertrand Russell's theory of descriptions, there exists an entity called the table which doesn't exist. How strange. So existence cannot be a property. That's right. But we'll just set it aside. Many of you look puzzled. Don't worry about it. It's just a little extra thinking lands you in trouble. So, yeah, existence is not a property, but we are thinking that can be dealt with later. So, the one thing which does not have borrowed existence, I am. And everything else has borrowed existence. In that case, they must have all borrowed their existence from you, from the I am. Everything and everybody and every incident and every time and every place you have experienced has borrowed its existence from the I am. It appears as an other, but it depends on you for their existence. A good example is a dream. In a dream, you see people, you have experiences, you have your own personality in the dream also. And you meet people, you go to places, but when you wake up, you know for sure, whatever you saw, whomever you saw, whatever you did, including you yourself, the person in the dream, all of it borrowed its existence from the dreaming mind, from you, the dreamer. Isn't it? The you, the dreamer, was like the I am in the present case. So, now this is called cause and effect. Effect. The table is an effect. The altar is an effect. What is the cause? The wood. It was wood earlier, now it has been given the form of a table, that's been given the form of the altar, and one day they will be destroyed, it will still be wood. Before it was a table, before it was an altar, it was wood. And when it is a table, what is it? Touch. Touch wood. Be confident. Touch wood. Touch the altar, it's still touch wood. So when it is an effect, an altar, a product, table, product, altar, all sorts of products, you go there to IKEA, as long as you find wooden products, they're all wood. So when all the products, all the effects, in all the effects, the cause continues. In all wooden furniture, wood continues. In all waves, water continues. In all golden ornament, gold continues. Gold is the cause of, material cause of all the golden ornaments. Water is the material out of which all waves and foam and surf comes. And wood is the material out of which all wooden furniture comes. I am is the material out of which the universe of experience comes. I am is the cause, the material cause. And this universe, it is what becomes, or, this entire universe. Now the opponent might say, got you. The cause is transformed into the effect. It is the seed which becomes the tree. The seed is gone, now it's a tree. It is the milk which becomes the yogurt. Now the milk is gone, it's yogurt now. If the cause is transformed into the effect, then you, the I am, the Satchidananda, the Brahman, has been transformed into this world. It's a world now. It is people, places, good and bad, sky and earth. So you're gone. The I am is finished. Brahman is finished. It's just a world now. It's been transformed into the world. You say, aha. That's where the castles in the sky, the city of Gandharvas comes in. He said, no, but there's another kind of causality. In Vedanta, we talk about two kinds. Parinama, transformation. Vivarta, appearance. The seed is transformed into the tree. Milk is transformed into yogurt. True. But the rope is not transformed into the snake. The rope appears as the snake. The movie screen does not become the people and the places and things. It doesn't become a hero and a villain and chasing the hero, and then it doesn't become a car and a gun and a gunfight. No, it doesn't. It appears like a movie. In the dream, you, the dreamer, you don't actually become the places and go to the places and actually do those things which happened in the dream. That's why it's called a dream. It appeared in your mind. So that's another kind of causality, where the cause appears as the effect without transformation. In Vedanta, there's one word for all of this. It's called vivarta.
Dream is a very, very good argument. That makes a lot of sense, hopefully to a lot of people. Like, if you ever need to explain how Brahman works in terms of Advaita Vedanta, and as far as I know, dream is a very good example. Like, who are you in a dream? It's like, oh yeah, I'm the main guy there, I see through my eyes. Like, what about the rest of the people? Are they you, or are they someone else? Like, well, I don't see through their eyes, but they're not different people. They're all in my mind. So, technically, it's all you. I'm trying to think now if I can try to see through other people's eyes. I have in some of my dreams before, like, I could feel an emotion that's not mine, but as of the different character in my dream. Like, I have my character and then the other character, and then I think I had the other character have to do something, like say something dangerous, and they feel nervous or afraid. I can feel that because, well, I don't know why, because I'm telling them they have to go do something. It could have been a horror, a nightmare. Yeah, you have to go outside and start the car so we can leave.
Cause appearing as an effect, but without undergoing any change at all. The dry desert appears as the watery oasis, mirage. Not a drop of water there. It looks like that. The sand didn't suddenly become water. It just looks like that. Similarly, the claim here is consciousness, I amness. It doesn't change. So it can't transform into anything else. But it can appear as its own universe. Just like you yourself, sleeping happily in your bed, appear as a dream universe without actually transforming. Similarly, you appear as this universe of experience. What you appear as is not real, but you are real. That old story of King Janaka has become pretty popular. This was about 2004. I was in the Himalayas, staying in a little hut, meditating, studying, begging for my food, and I used to go for walks before sunset, in the very spectacular mountains, glaciers, and all of that. And it was summer, so there was no snow there. It was comfortable. And once while walking, there was monks would tell stories. So this monk told me a story about the Emperor Janaka. So the Emperor Janaka, he went to bed one day, and suddenly he was woken up by a sentry. Your Majesty, wake up, wake up. What happened? What's the emergency? We have been attacked by the enemy. Oh, we have to attack by the enemy. Then call the general, call out the army, get my armor and my bow and arrows and sword. We must go out and fight the enemy. So he goes out and fights the enemy, but the poor Janaka is defeated by the enemy. And then he's captured, and he's dragged before the enemy, the conquering enemy king. And the conqueror says, Janaka, you are of royal descent, you are of royal blood, so I will not kill you, but you are exiled from your kingdom. You have to get out from here before sunrise. So poor Janaka, what can he do? He struggles and walks and walks and walks. Now he's helpless. And somehow, wherever he goes for a drink of water or something, nobody wants to help him because the new king is cruel. And so somehow he manages to cross the border of his empire. If he does that before sunrise, it couldn't have been a very big empire. Anyway, so now he's in the next kingdom, and he is desperate and tired and wounded and exhausted and broken inside. And then he sees somebody giving food to the poor, like a soup kitchen. And he stands there. In India, it's a khichdi kitchen. There's the khichdi, that's the rice and dal and all. Yeah. Now, when it comes for his turn, there's a bowl, and he comes to the place where it's being served. And at that moment, the person says, it's gone, it's finished. There's nothing left. And Janaka says, give me anything, for I'm terribly exhausted. So they pick out a little bit of gruel at the bottom of the cauldron and they serve that to him. And poor Janaka is going to drink that up. When a kite swoops down from the sky and knocks the bowl from his hand, it goes rolling. And Janaka falls helplessly on the ground. He can't take it anymore. And I heard it in Hindi. He said, ha ha kar karte hue, crying out, alas, alas. The Sanskrit ha ha is the exact opposite of the English ha ha. English ha ha is funny. So Sanskrit ha ha means alas, alas. And he falls down. And he wakes up, sits up in his bed.
Okay.
At that point, we would have gone, oh, what a nightmare. What did I eat last night? But Janaka is a philosopher. He's a philosopher emperor. So he thinks, was that true or is this true? In Hindi, wo sach ya ye sach? Was that true or is this true? And the guard comes running and says, you shouted, is anything wrong? Was that true or is this true? The guard is scared and he goes and calls the queen. The queen says, now what is it, old man? And he says, was that true or is this true? She gets scared. She calls the royal doctor. The doctor examines him. Where does it hurt, emperor? Are you feeling unwell? Was that true or is this true? And he goes to court the next day. And he's sitting there, and courtiers are coming, and business of the empire is being transacted. But he just says, the emperor just says one thing: was that true or is this true? It could be a dream. The Chinese philosopher Chuang-Tzu, he said he went to sleep under a tree, and he was dreaming that he was a butterfly. When he woke up, he said, "But was I a philosopher dreaming that I was a butterfly, or am I a butterfly dreaming that I am a philosopher?" Only a philosopher would ask such questions. Now the great sage Ashtavakra was visiting the city, and he heard the gossip, like the grapevine. Like there was no social media in those days, but it was all over the city that the emperor has lost his marbles. He thinks, he just keeps saying, "Was that true or is this true?" And then Ashtavakra goes to the court, and he asks Janaka, "How are you, Your Majesty?" And he says. The emperor says, "Was that true or is this true?" And Ashtavakra, who knows everything, what's in the mind of the emperor, he says, "At that time when you were rolling in the dust and crying, alas, was all this there, the army, your glory, your power, your kingdom, or was it all lost?" So all lost, nothing was there, none of this was there. And right now, when you're sitting in the midst of our glory and power, that defeat, that humiliation, that exhaustion, that pain, is it there now? He says, no, it's not there. Then Ashtavakra says, "Oh emperor, neither that is true nor this is true." And the emperor says, "Good Lord, is nothing true then?" When the sage says that at that time, did you experience it or not? He said, yes, you were there in some way, you experienced it. And here you are experiencing it, right? Yes. In that case, O emperor, neither that is true nor this is true, but you are the truth. You are the truth, that I amness, that I am, I shine, I am existence, consciousness, bliss, that is the truth. So, you are the cause of this entire universe. Remember the links of the argument. Intrinsic existence, borrowed existence, causality. Cause is always, the effect borrows its existence from the cause. Cause is always there in the effect. And this is a kind of causality which is vivarta, no transformation, appearing like a city of Gandharvas or castles in the sky. This entire universe is a dreamlike appearance in you, the I am, the ever-shining I am. Very quickly, how does that make me all-knowing? I'll just touch upon that and finish. Sarvagyam. All the things in this universe, whatever we experience, they know neither themselves nor anything else. The table doesn't know itself, and the table doesn't know the altar. But I, the consciousness, I know the table and I know the altar. I see it, I can touch it, and so on and so forth. So the objects in the universe, objects of consciousness, whatever you experience in the universe, they are not aware of each other. And not only they are not aware of themselves also. You might say, "Swami, hold on. I'm aware of all of these people and all of these people and all animals and all. They're all aware of each other. But Bodies are not aware of each other. It's the consciousness which is reflected in and through the mind. So this whole Vedantic epistemology is there. That's what makes you aware of yourself and everything else. It is consciousness alone which is the knower. In every episode of knowing, Vedantic epistemology is consciousness makes possible knowledge. And your own experience, look at it. Just what did we do at the very beginning? We did that, I am, and I am aware of you. I can see you. I close my eyes, I can't see you, but I still am. But if I leave that I am out, if I push that out, then all knowledge disappears. Right? So consciousness is that which knows through a mechanism, through instruments. Same consciousness, through the mind, through the eyes, sees the object and says, I see. I am and I see. Through the ears, the mind and the ears, same consciousness, I hear. Through the mind, I think. But if mind, ears, eyes, all were taken away, I am would still be there. But it would not see or hear or smell or taste or think. But if you took the I am away, no knowledge would be possible at all. That's why, all this AI, talk of AI, there's no real knowledge there. There's no first-person experience of knowing, because consciousness is the only thing that has not been simulated there. Everything else is there. Intelligence, memory, creativity, all of that. So
That's an interesting point he made there, actually. I'm going to rewind that, because
all this AI, talk of AI, there's no real knowledge there. There's no first-person experience of knowing, because consciousness is the only thing that has not been simulated there. Everything else is there. Intelligence, memory, creativity, all of that.
intelligence, memory, and creativity is there. I wonder. I said in the past that we ourselves are like robots. Again, this is before I got really too deep into Advaita Vedanta. But we are kind of like robots. Obviously, if we touch something that's harmful, we don't touch it again. We learn. We learn memory. When there's something good, we eat it, or we do whatever it is to do whatever that's good. And so we do that over again because we like good. We need to go to sleep. We sleep. That's like recharging somewhat, or storage memory or whatever, long-term memory. We are very robotic in a lot of sense. We have memory. When our memory goes bad, much like a computer, we all screw up. Hardware goes bad on a computer. It's kind of like us, where our joints or our eyes or our hearing goes bad. Again, we avoid danger either by being taught it by our parents or people around us, or we learn it the hard way by doing something and realizing that's not a good thing to do. Much like a computer. A computer is capable of learning. So intelligence, but he said the consciousness is not there. The thing is, though, is that isn't everything consciousness, though? So technically, computer would be consciousness, would have consciousness, is made out of consciousness. So that's what, again, that goes in line with, what is it? Brahman is. Again, a statement that was said in the comments a while back, where I would say everything is Brahman, but they wanted to correct me and say Brahman only is, or something along those lines. Brahman is. There's nothing else, which I get, completely understand. So therefore, everything is consciousness. Even, I would assume, even a pen. Oop, man, it is so dark. Oop, there we go. Even a pen would be consciousness, because that's the underlying reality. So even AI itself would be consciousness. It would have intelligence like we do, memory like we do, creativity like we do. We have, our five senses, perhaps even more, or better in a lot of degrees. Like, we'll have visual sense, we'll have a nasal sense, taste sense, hearing sense, touch sense. And those senses would be more expanded upon than ours. Because we have a hearing range between 20 and 20,000 hertz, somewhere along there. Some people a little bit more, but the hearing range of a computer or robot would be just whatever limitation that we have. We can make it hear all the ranges or some of the range, so it's able to turn on and off whatever it can and cannot hear. That way it can focus on it. Much like how we can see in the infrared section of the light. I believe it's infrared, but we can't see in other light spectrums. But infrared, not I think it's infrared or visible light. Sorry, maybe not infrared. I think it's visible. The visible light spectrum. It's called visible light because we can see it. It's visible to our eyes. I believe that's the one. And then we have cameras that does infrared. There we go. And heat, thermal. And then there's a special kind of night light, not night light, but dark vision that the military has, where they can shoot something in the air and it's super bright when you're looking through those glasses. But if you take those off, it's dark, pitch black. Put those glasses back on, it's super bright. You can see it reflecting off a lot of stuff. I can't remember if that's a movie or I don't think it was a movie, and I wouldn't doubt that exists. Something that emits a light that only certain things can see, because obviously we can't see everything in terms of the light spectrum. So anyways, again, here, I guess a question honestly on this one is that, would an AI robot have consciousness? If Brahman isn't it technically then consciousness itself? So the reason I ask this question is because, again, I'm trying to clarify the questions in my mind, because I can accept the fact to say Brahman is. Okay, if that is the case, then questions come up like, is AI consciousness then? Because if Brahman is and nothing else isn't, I hope that's the right way to say it, like there is only Brahman and nothing else. Therefore AI is Brahman, therefore Brahman is consciousness, therefore AI is consciousness, right? It logically makes sense. But anyways, if you don't mind answering that, that'd be fantastic.
So all knowledge is knowledge by consciousness. Whatever is known, wherever it is known, it is consciousness that knows. You say, yeah, just a minute, but I am not omniscient. But you're thinking of I am in limitation with this mind and body. The same consciousness, you the one consciousness, functioning through all sentient beings, you know the things in this universe. Somebody might say that, yeah, but there might be things which no sentient being knows. There might be a planet far away in the cosmos somewhere, no living being is there. So don't you think that planet exists and it exists outside consciousness? And the one simple answer is that, no, but God is there. So God is omniscient. God knows everything. And in God's mind, wherever all knowledge is there, that's illumined by consciousness, that same I amness. So you as I amness through God's mind, you're omniscient. That kind of argument may be given. A deeper, more profound and subtle argument is this. I mentioned this earlier. You don't have to bring God into it. In one sense, everything is in our consciousness and illumined by our consciousness. Just that some of it is known, some of it is unknown. When you say sarvagyam, all-knowing, it means there's a derivation. You are the all and you are consciousness. Sarvascha gyascha, all consciousness. And the example which I give to Bill Conrad, I'll repeat it. I've told it many times. I'll say that and finish. It's this, that one day Bill told me, it's not true that everything is in consciousness, Swami. There are things outside consciousness. I'll prove it to you now. So in this room, let's all go out of this room. We'll put a camera in this room. It'll record the room. And we'll go out of the room. When we come back into the room, Swami, I will show you the pictures in the camera. You will see a room existing without any conscious being. The room exists outside consciousness. And then we see it. This is what is called realism.
Oh, my argument for that would be, how do you know? I mean, if Conrad were to show us, like, well, how do you know? We are witnessing the recording, not the room. This is supposedly recording the room, but we're not seeing the room as is. We're experiencing not the room, but the recordings of the room. I wonder if he'll say that.
In a philosophical sense, that the world exists and then we come and see it. Now I said to him, Bill, In your consciousness, you saw this room. And in you, the consciousness, you proposed this experiment that let's put up a camera here. In you, the consciousness, the camera was set up and switched on. In you, the consciousness, you experienced us leaving the room. In you, the consciousness, you experienced us coming back into the room. In you, the consciousness, you experienced the camera showing an empty room, pictures of that. Where did you step outside consciousness? I'll give you one more example. In our
Real quick. Okay. Mine's a little bit different. It was somewhat similar, but I guess more of an external thing as opposed to an internal there. Meaning that your observation has always been external in terms of, experiencing the room, experiencing leaving the room, experiencing the camera, experiencing the recording of the camera. But at no point there did you ever experience the room when no one was in the room. So you don't know whether that room existed or not because you weren't there to witness the room not exist or exist. Maybe I'm thinking of it wrong there, but that's how I was thinking of it. And then when you go, it's like, well, we had this camera recording the entire time. Yeah, you're experiencing the recording of a camera, not the actual room itself at the time. I think that's a decent argument.
dreams. We have the experience of meeting people, doing things, but we also have the intuition of our wider world out there. Follow what I'm saying carefully. In our dreams, suppose we are walking around in Central Park and meeting people, we also have this feeling that I am in the middle of a world. We feel it's like a waking world. And there's a vast world out there, New York and the United States and the Atlantic Ocean and so on. I know only a slice of it, this Central Park, a little bit in front of me. But when I wake up, what happens? Whatever I saw in the dream, known and unknown, experienced and not experienced, the whole thing was in the dreaming mind, as known and as unknown. So knowledge, which is called prama in Sanskrit, is different from chaitanya, consciousness. Consciousness makes all knowledge possible. Whatever is known and whatever is unknown, it's only in the field of consciousness. So you are, in that sense, sarvagya. And now the author has demonstrated the second definition of Brahman. Brahman is the ground of the entire universe. The whole universe arises in Brahman, exists in Brahman, disappears back into Brahman. Brahman is the cause of the universe and has shown you as the I am, the ever-shining I am. The whole universe arises in you, is experienced in you the consciousness, not in you the person, and disappears back into you. It is not separate from you. There is not one person here, one object here, one event here which you experience, which is actually anything other than you. You are this universe. This is called non-duality. This is the honey of non-duality. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Okay. So my explanation of how I would explain this, I don't know if it's necessarily right, but it makes sense, which is the fact that things must manifest in consciousness for you to be aware of it. So a way to show an example of that is that with my eyes, I am looking at this pen, and my eyes is transmitting a signal to my brain, and my brain is kind of recreating this and showing it to my consciousness. It's manifesting in my consciousness. So when it manifests in my consciousness, I'm experiencing it. Now, that may not completely explain it to some people, but in order for me to experience something, I must be able to manifest it in my consciousness. And the way we manifest it in our consciousness is through our senses. If I can't see this, it is not manifesting in my consciousness because I'm not seeing it with my eyes, but I am feeling it, touching it. So it is manifesting in my consciousness through my touch. I'm feeling, what does it feel like, how long it is, what kind of attributes it has, dents, bumps, hang-ups. Now that is manifesting in my sound. My ears. My ears are picking up that signal, sending it to the brain, and my brain is making it aware of my aware of it in my consciousness. Again, this is with my 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 idea of, or my second idea of what a consciousness is. So you have Advaita Vedanta's version of consciousness, which everything is, and my idea what consciousness is, that we have a consciousness in our own brain somewhere. So it's not to say that there's this one consciousness, but we all have our own consciousness. That's the only difference right now. Now, which one is true? I don't know. It doesn't really, I don't necessarily care, but if there's a way to find out, I would absolutely love to know. But other than that, it's all relatively the same. It's that the fact that this must manifest in my consciousness, otherwise I cannot experience it. Imagine if I lost all my sense of touch, my sense of taste, my sense of hearing, my sense of smell, and my sense of seeing. It's the only thing I'll ever experience is just blackness, nothing else. So even though I'm able to touch this, oh man, it is super dark. Oh man, I need some better lights in here. But even though I'm able to touch this, smell it, taste it, you get my point. Without being able to do those, I would not be able to experience it. If I only had the sense of taste, then I could taste with my tongue. If it tastes nothing, then I wouldn't be able to necessarily experience it because it has no taste. But I wouldn't be able to feel it because, again, just if I only had the sense of taste, my tongue touching it, I wouldn't know something was touching my tongue unless I was able to taste it. If I can't taste it, then something could be touching my tongue, but I wouldn't know it. Or if you lose all your senses but your sense of sight, then the only way you can experience the world with your consciousness is through sight. Now, let me know about that, what you guys think about that. Because, again, he explains the fact that, well, maybe he didn't explain this one, but the fact that your consciousness, Atma, it doesn't die or is never dead or reborn, or never born or never dies. Yes, never born or dies. Where was I going with that one? Hold on. I was going somewhere with that one. Hold on, I'm going to pause so I can think about it. Anyways, I started thinking about it. I can't remember what it is. It was a really good one too, about why if your consciousness never dies, it's never born, nor is it ever dead. Anyways, if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.